It's not the type of recognition any city wants, but both Belleville and Kingston were just named 2 of 15 locations across Canada most at risk for experiencing extreme heat. That's according to a recent report by the Intact Center on Climate Adaptation at Waterloo University. It warns soaring temperatures are set to cause devastating climate-related suffering in Canada and should be considered a natural disaster.
The heat is coming for sure. The modeling is quite clear, and we need to take the measures now to prepare in anticipation of that which is to come.
Last summer, a heat wave in British Columbia killed nearly 600 people, 526 of them in a one-week span at the end of June.
It is good, I think, for people in Ontario to recognize that this is not something that just people in BC are going to have to deal with. It's here as well.
The report indicates that if nothing is done now, it could result in thousands of deaths in the future. The Intact Center says our region in the year 2051, the summer temperature will have increased by 5 degrees. The number of days above 30 degrees Celsius will have tripled, and the number of heat waves we experience will have almost doubled.
Well, I'm not actually surprised at all. We've experienced extreme heat in Kingston in the past.
Extreme heat brought on by climate change disproportionately impacts urban populations. And that's because cities are typically hotter than rural areas as a result of the urban heat island effect. So buildings and pavement absorb a lot of heat and radiate that back. So they're much hotter than rural areas. But then within the urban areas, there are also certain groups like the elderly, low-income households, and those who are homeless, who are either much more vulnerable because of their health or because they're less able to protect themselves from extreme heat.
But there are solutions Canada can make, starting with investing billions to prevent the world's warming increasing above 2 degrees. A new study from the Smith School of Business found the cost of even 2 degrees of warming will grow to more than $15 billion annually within 8 years.
So by making a $12.8 billion investment now, we save a little bit now and then a lot in the future. And we avoid a situation where we may not be able to make those investments in the future.
The Intact Center lists dozens of things people can do to ease the threat, such as cooling homes using reflective window coverings and planting trees for better shade.
We are blessed with a lot in Kingston, but we can definitely have more. But again, we need to consider equity when we're looking at where to expand green space. Healthy neighborhoods are far more likely to have trees and parks and so forth. And we have a lack of information right now about this in Kingston, but 2 local groups, Just Recovery Kingston and Little Forest Kingston, are working on a project to assess tree equity in Kingston, and that will be really valuable for the city to consider when they're planning additional tree planting projects and expansion of green space going forward.
Erin Strickland, Global News, Kingston.